Hello everyone and welcome to another Balance Your Productivity live broadcast here every Wednesday at 4:30. If you like and follow my Facebook page, then you will get notifications of when I go live and you'll be able to catch up on the recording after the broadcast. So thank you for watching and please do feel free to share. Each week I'm sharing information on a particular topic around how to balance your productivity and live in a more fulfilling way. And if you're watching, then I'm happy to answer questions while we're live or just pop something in the comments and I can answer them later. So this week's topic, as the clocks here in the UK have just changed, I thought I would talk about how you can find an extra hour in your day. And thinking about what you would do with an extra hour in your day. This is something I often ask people when I'm either running workshops or doing talks, is what would you do with that extra hour? And what would you rather be doing with your time? So how would you prefer to be using your time? So again, you can pop answers in the comments, answers on a postcard, please. And two of the most frequent answers that I get when people stick their hands up are sleep and exercise, the two things that people either don't have time for or are very short of, not finding enough time for exercise in particular. So what I wanted to share with you in this session is how you can find time for more of both of those things and just how you can carve out a few extra minutes in every day to give you back some of that much needed time. And one of the first things that I would suggest is creating a time log. If you can keep track of how and where you spend your time over the course of 1 or 2 days, a couple of days in a week, or if this is an exercise that you do every now and then, you'll become much more aware of where that time is going. So it can just be a very simple spreadsheet or just write it down every 15 minutes or so, 15, 30 minutes, what you've done within that time. And then look back at it at the end of the day and you'll be much more aware of where you're spending your time and, more importantly, where you're potentially wasting it. So you'll be able to look at how you've spent that time and think about, was that the most productive and effective use of my time? Can I see the areas where I'm wasting my time? Are there certain tasks that I'm working on that perhaps are not as important? And I could plan and organise my day better to get more of my time back. So that can be a really good starting point, is just to log your time. And an interesting thing that often happens when we do that is because we're observing how we're using our time, you actually start to use your time more effectively just as a result of doing that exercise, because you want to put positive things down on your time log. So you'll already start saving yourself time when you do that. So having done that, I just want to cover a few time-saving tips that are going to help you regain a few minutes throughout the day just by creating a little structure and routine, which is a really good way of getting your time back. So if you start your day the night before by thinking about what you need for the following morning, so putting out your clothes that you're going to wear, any paperwork you're going to need, setting up your briefcase or your bag, putting your exercise clothes out if you're planning on doing some exercise first thing in the morning or going to the gym. And you then won't have to waste time rushing around trying to get things ready, having to iron a shirt, just so you're trying to rush out the door. And that is something, just that very simple thing is easily going to save you 5 to 10 minutes. You get up, everything is there, ready, and within a few minutes you're ready to go. Something else that is also going to save you a lot of time is having a place for everything and everything in its place, so that you know where you're going to find things. If you've ever spent wasted time searching around trying to find something that you sort of know where you put it, you're sure you've seen it recently, you think it's somewhere but it's not actually in the place you thought it was, and particular things like our car keys, house keys, mobile phone, wallet, bag, always put them in the same place, and have a place where you can put these things as you come in and pick them up as you go out, and you'll waste a lot less time trying to search around, trying to find things. If you are particularly organised with things like paperwork and filing, and I have to admit this is not one of my strongest areas, you then know where things are when you need to find things, even sort of things around the house about where sort of tools are, where spare batteries are. Have a place for them that you then know you can go and look at, and it's there, and you're not wasting time searching around. Probably that's going to save you at least 5-10 minutes every day. Make lists, not just your daily to-do lists, and I touched on that in a session previously, but also things like shopping lists, or putting together menus. So you know when you go into a shop, you know what you're looking for, and you can tick it off as you go, and you're not just searching around randomly trying to remember what it was that you came in for. There's enough of that goes on later on in life, so don't add to that. So you'll waste a lot less time searching around for things, trying to find things, impulse buying, and it's quicker when you do your shop anyway. Related to that is about preparing meals in advance. So think about what you're going to eat. Menu planning is a great way of organising your week, particularly if you're time pressured. You know what you're going to be eating, when to cook it. You can batch cook in advance, which is another good option that will also save you time. And you can also prepare lunches ahead of time, which potentially means that you're also eating more healthily, because you're not wasting time or suddenly thinking, wasting time and money actually, just everything. And I've done a whole session on delegation. So looking at tasks both in the home and at work that you can delegate or outsource. At home, particularly things like gardening, cleaning, getting the DIY done. It's going to save you a lot of time if you have somebody else that can help out with that. And that might be other people in the home, your partner, the children, that can get involved in those. And that's going to could save you hours if you spend a lot of time doing that. One of my biggest tips for saving time in the day is around planning. Plan your day. A few minutes spent planning your day at the beginning of the day or at the end of the previous day is going to save you wasted time when you just come in and you react. So you'll be far more organised when you know what it is that you've got to do. You can focus your day far better, and you save a lot of time that way, and you'll get so much more done. So it's definitely worth doing. Grouping tasks together. Chores in particular, if there are things that you can do on your way to do the shopping, going to the bank, going to the post office, on your way into work, on your way back, dropping kids off at school, think about tasks that you can group and do in the same period of time, so you can make the most effective use of that time, rather than forgetting to post a letter and then having to go out later, or there's a bill that needs to be paid. What can you do at the same time? And if there are things that you do on a regular basis, like bill paying or certain tasks that need to be done throughout the course of a month, put a reminder in your diary, and again, you can group those things together. Or particularly with things like bill paying, look at ways of automating them, setting up direct debits, standing orders. Saves the time and the stress of remembering to pay the bills or not paying them on time. Along with grouping tasks together, have a look at things like emails and phone calls. Group similar tasks together that you do throughout your day as part of the work. It's much quicker and more effective to make a number of phone calls within a period of time, or to answer several emails at once, rather than doing them here, there, throughout the day. That is also going to save you time chopping and changing from one type of task to another. Use your diary for reminders and blocking out time for tasks. We spend a lot of sort of mental time thinking about or trying to remember things or forgetting things, and then rushing around and trying to catch up with ourselves because you've forgotten a meeting, you've forgotten something that needs to be done. So put those into your diary And that again is going to save you time, and you're not going to be rushing around or finding yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time, or rushing to meet meetings or deadlines. You know that it's there, you can look, you can plan ahead, you know what's coming up. Another one, which again I did a whole session on, is around managing the interruptions and distractions. As I've mentioned previously, you can be wasting up to 1 to 2 hours a day on the interruptions and distractions that come in. So switching tasks, getting interrupted, losing focus, and then needing to get back to the task in hand. So that's an easy way of finding that extra hour in a day if you just manage those interruptions and distractions better. That will potentially come up on, if you're logging your time, you'll be aware of when and who and how you're getting interrupted, and then look at ways of limiting and managing those interruptions. Another way to get time back or to manage your time better is to set time limits. You might intend just to spend 10 minutes checking your email or a few minutes on a particular task, but if you're not aware of where that time's going, it's quite easy to slip into hours, minutes, spending an awful lot longer on that task than you intended. So set a time limit and work in chunks of time. So 15 to 25 minute chunks with a break. You'll be much more focused. You're setting yourself mini deadlines, and you'll get a lot more done, and you won't be wasting as much time. And if you work in those 15, 25 minute chunks throughout the day, you can get really, really productive and find that you can finish earlier and regain some of that time that you're potentially wasting. Now, multitasking is something that I don't usually advocate doing because we're not really that good. Just our brains don't really work one that way. But there are times when you can be doing something else at the same time. Particularly if you watch TV, you could use that opportunity to do the ironing, if you do ironing, getting some chores done around the house, listening to podcasts and audios while you're doing something else. That's something I often do when I'm going out for a run, is I will listen to a podcast or an audio book while I'm off out for a run, so I'm able to do two things at once, or even combine that with going down to the post office. So just those few little tips should enable you to get some of that time back, and will easily add up to an extra hour within your day. So from the sleep perspective, if you're finding that that is something that you would love to do with that extra hour, get into a sleep routine, going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time, and switching off your technology early enough that your brain has a chance to switch off, start getting into sleep mode, and then do something that relaxes you before bedtime so that you're ready for bed, that you're tired. Like reading can be quite good, meditating, listening to music might be your ways of relaxing. Finding time for exercise within the day, if that's something that you want to have that extra time for, plan it in to start with, is always a good move, so it's not just an afterthought. And add activity generally into your day. How can you just be more active throughout the day rather than just sitting at your desk for 8-9 hours at a time? High intensity exercises are really great, so you can get a really short burst of activity and very effective activity, intense, in a short space of time without having to spend an hour going to the gym, which with getting there, getting changed, showering afterwards takes a lot longer. So HIIT sessions, high intensity sessions, 15-20 minutes can be just as effective, and quite a lot of those are really easy to do at home, so that certainly saves you a chunk of time there. If you want to find out more about how you can save time within your day, then get in touch and I can help you work through that. Let's find a time to talk, have a quick chat, and you'll probably find that actually it's easier than you think, even if you're just feeling really bogged down the whole time. If you've got any comments or would like to ask some questions, please do so. And you can also download the time quiz from my website. Take that, see how you're doing, and that will also point you in the right direction of where your time habits are, can send you some information on how you compare and give you a few ideas to get you started on finding more time in your day and easily finding that hour so you can focus on what it is that you want to do rather than feeling that you're wasting a lot of time. So hope you found that useful, and do get in touch if you would like to, and I'll see you on the next session. Take care.